Hey there, and welcome. If you've ever looked at those adorable crocheted dolls and thought, I wish I could make that, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to walk through everything together, turning a simple ball of yarn into a precious keepsake, even if you're a complete beginner.
Okay, just take a look at these two. I know, they look so detailed, so perfect, right? But I promise you, the skills you need to create them are way simpler than you think. Seriously, think of me as your guide sitting right here with you. We're going to build these step by step.
So here's the plan. First, we'll meet the little couple we're making. Then, we'll nail down the most important skills. After that, we'll actually crochet all the different parts, put them together, and then I'll give you some pro tips to fix any little issues. See? Not so scary when you break it down, right?
All right, first up, let's meet our little project, the My Darling and Me couple. And here's why they're so great for beginners. Both of these dolls are made from the exact same basic parts. The head, the body, the arms, the legs, it's all the same construction. That means you get tons of practice to really master those core skills.
And the whole point of this isn't just to blindly follow a pattern. It's about understanding why you're doing each step. Once you get these fundamental skills down, you'll be able to create pretty much anything you can dream up. So let's do it.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Believe it or not, the entire beautiful world of amigurumi is really built on just a couple of key techniques. We're going to focus on the two most important ones that'll give your dolls that clean, professional look right from the start.
First up, the magic ring. This is how we'll start almost every single piece. Now here's why it's so, well, magical. It lets you pull the starting hole completely shut. It's literally the secret to getting rid of that tiny hole you sometimes see at the top of a doll's head or the tip of a foot. No gaps, just a perfect, seamless start.
And its partner in crime is the invisible decrease. The key words here are smooth and bump-free. A normal decrease can sometimes leave a tiny, visible bump. But this technique, it makes your stitches shrink down so neatly they practically disappear. This is how you get that perfect, flawless skin on your doll.
Okay, before we even pick up our hooks to make the real pieces, let's talk about some golden rules. First, we work in a spiral to avoid a seam. Second, a stitch marker is your best friend. Seriously, don't even try without one. And finally, stuff firmly and always leave long tails for sewing. Trust me, you'll thank me later.
All right, we've got the theory down. Now for the really fun part. Watching a simple piece of yarn magically turn into 3D shapes. This is where all that practice with the magic ring and those decreases really starts to pay off as we build the head, body, and limbs.
So just look at how the head gets started. It's all about simple math. You start with 6 stitches, then you double it to 12. After that, you're just adding 6 more stitches on every round, nice and evenly spaced. See that pattern? That super steady, predictable increase is what makes a perfectly flat circle, which then starts to curve into a ball.
Okay, everybody, stop. This is huge, like a really, really big deal. You absolutely have to put the safety eyes in place before you start stuffing and closing up the head. Once that hole gets too small, there is no way to get the backs on. I'm telling you, it's the point of no return. Okay, so you've got this little pile of crocheted things. It might not look like much yet, but this is where the real magic begins. The assembly is where all those separate parts come together and your doll's amazing little personality starts to shine through.
Let's talk about the #1 beginner problem, the dreaded floppy head. The secret is to attach it super securely. You're going to stitch through every single one of those neck stitches, pulling tightly as you go. But here's the real game changer, that last step. Shoving a little extra stuffing right into the neck cavity right before you sew it shut gives it all the support it needs. No more wobbles. Now, the hair. It looks so complicated, right? But the system behind it is actually genius and super simple. It all starts with a basic little crocheted cap. All that gorgeous hair, for both the boy and the girl, is just individual strands of yarn tied onto that cap.
And here's how you do it. First, you make the cap. Then you just cut a bunch of yarn strands and attach them with a really simple knot. You sew that whole thing onto the head like a little wig, and then you get to play hairdresser and give it a trim. It gives you total control so you can be the doll's personal hairstylist at the very end. And of course, the face is what gives them all their personality. And it's so much simpler than you think. We're just talking about a few little stitches with embroidery floss, a little curve for a smile, a soft line for hers. And those sweet rosy cheeks, you can either use a bit of pink floss or even just a dab of real blush or chalk. All right, we are in the home stretch. We've basically built our dolls from the ground up.
So let's do a final check-in, look at a few common problems, and make sure your creation is absolutely perfect.
So you attach the head, you give it a little wiggle and… oh no, it's wobbly. Is it doing that little bobblehead thing? Don't panic. It's probably the most common issue ever, and the fix is something we've actually already talked about.
And here it is again, the secret weapon straight from the pattern. That little bit of extra stuffing you push into the neck acts like a support column. It completely fills that gap between the head and body and gives the head a solid base to rest on. I'm telling you, it's a total game changer.
So before you take that final I'm done picture, let's just run through a quick little checklist, okay? Give the doll a good squish. Is it firm all over? Give that head a gentle push. Is it nice and stable? Take a look at the arms. Are they even? And last, are all those pesky yarn tails tucked in and hidden? That's what makes it look finished and professional.
And look at that. You did it. You actually did it. You took a ball of yarn, followed the steps, learned the skills, and look what you made. An incredible, handcrafted pair of dolls ready to be loved. You should be so proud.
So the big question now is, you've got the skills. You know how to make all the basic shapes, how to assemble them, and how to add all those little details that bring a character to life. The possibilities are endless. What are you going to make next?